Hello and welcome to the Pioneer Spotlight, the interview show where we get a closer look at Point Park University student athletes, coach, and teams. My name is Colton DeBiase, and we thank you for joining us after a 2-year hiatus from the program. And joining me today are two members from the Point Park Pioneers volleyball team, as we have junior libero Ashley Castelli and senior middle hitter Jazlyn Rozier. Ladies, thank you so much for coming on today to be with us today.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we are gonna have to discuss your game last week against IU Kokomo. But first, I want to get to how you guys prepared for the preseason, knowing that you guys had 5 weeks of training. So, how did preseason training go in a preparation for your first match this past Friday?
I for sure think preseason being stretched out, we were able to work on more things than we would if we usually would have 3 weeks, and then we usually would go to a tournament, as I said, at Dearborn. So that was also a setback for us. We were going into a big game against Kokomo. So we did have a lot of preparation, but we didn't have any baseline of how we played from last year, not having tournaments beforehand.
Okay, yeah, and knowing that you guys did have 5 weeks, and also your season opener was pushed back to September 18th. So, was there anything else that you guys had to do differently because of COVID-19?
We just have to wear masks walking around, and this year for our trainers, they can't do as much, so it's more on ourselves to make sure that we're feeling okay and our bodies are good for practice and games.
Okay, good. Yeah, so Jazlyn, you are the most experienced player up front for this team.
Yeah.
How would you assess the attacking that you guys are going to have this season?
For us, we do have a lot of old players coming back, but we do have a couple new hitters coming in. I think it's really just finding connections and the niches that we can find that our hitters have the confidence within to do, and our setters also being confident within themselves and our new players coming in. So kind of just having a team chemistry. I think it was a lot better having 5 weeks of preseason, so we were able to mesh more with each other and things like that.
Okay, yes. So, and Ashley, you have been the starting libero for the past couple of years. So, how is the back row looking for you guys this year?
I'm excited this year because this year, unlike last year, we had some new players, so we've all passed next to each other, so I'm excited. We know each other on the court well, so we know what we're each going to get, and so it's going to be good. Okay,
yeah. And you mentioned, Ashley, the new players. Now, a question for both of you. Since you graduated both of your setters from last year, so how has it been working for the new setters this year, and what do they bring to the table with not just for this season, but for years to come?
I'll start. So we have a freshman setter, and we also have a junior transfer from a junior college. So it's, I think, different for both of them. We have a freshman stepping in, playing her first year of collegiate athletics, and then we have a junior coming from an entire different program. So I think it's more, they have told us it's a lot different from their club seasons and their college teams. They're not used to running a lot of what we run and things like that. So I think, as I said with the hitters, it's really just making sure that they're confident, teaching them the ropes just because we are the older players and things like that. But so far it's going pretty well. We can't complain. We learn something new every day.
Yeah. And I think having such a long preseason, that helped with having new setters so that we could adjust to having them and they can adjust to having us since we had more time to practice with them.
So, mentioning that, do you guys have, a preference? Did you guys like the preseason, how it, was operated with this season? Or do you guys wish you could maybe, go back to how it used to be when you guys actually, travel to places, as you mentioned, Michigan?
There's pros and cons to it. I like that we had more practices so we can focus on other things. But I don't like how we didn't get to play before a big game, like a conference game that matters, because those first two tournaments are what, how we figure out our lineup and who works well next to each other, and it's hard to do that when you don't have tournaments to play.
And it's even harder for the coaches too, because like she said, lineups and everything. Our coaches only see our practice, and we do have so little girls this year that it's hard to really do a 6-on-6 and see who works well next to each other. But we've managed so far. I mean, COVID has brought changes for everyone, so we're doing the best that we can.
Yeah, you are exactly right, Jazlyn. Yeah, so and such a big part about volleyball is team chemistry. So So how is the chemistry for you guys this season?
I think this year our chemistry is actually pretty good. All the girls are there and want to get better, and we want to help our teammates get better. So I think in past years it wasn't as good as it is now, so I'm excited for that.
I also think having such little girls, it's so much easier to connect one-on-one with each of us. Like when I came in as a freshman, there was 21 to 22 girls on my team. So it's like a lot of the older girls, not that they didn't talk to the younger girls, but they had their group of girls already and things like that. So it was harder to transition in kind of, but now we're open arms. We've been open arms with everyone, which is very nice.
Oh, good. Yeah, that seems nice. Yeah. So now we get to discuss your first match, which unfortunately ended in a 3-match sweep in favor of the River State's conference champions, the IU Kokomo Cougars. So what do you guys maybe think went wrong during that game, and what did you guys take away from that, knowing you were going up against the defending RSC champions?
What went wrong? I think our communication lacked a lot. We did sort of individualize a lot during the game and focused on our own errors instead of ways to make it better for the team. I think our coach did mention to us, we looked like we were putting in fight until point 15 each game. And we were putting in fight. We were head-to-head with them, and then they would go on a 5-point run, and we really couldn't stop their run. So it was little things like that. They had a great block up.
Yes,
their block was insane. We didn't really run any other trick plays. We kind of ran the main basic volleyball sets and things like that. So those are things that we've been working on all practice this week to prepare us for IU East tomorrow and games coming forward. So
Yeah,
things like that.
I wrote a column in the Globe regarding your game on Friday, and I did mention about how like they were just like so dominant up front. It's just like I couldn't believe it. So what are you guys looking for against your matchup tomorrow? As you guys mentioned, you will be going up against IU East, and then also you have another game on Saturday against Ohio Christian. So like, what are you guys looking forward in those two games, knowing they're back to back?
Yeah, I think we're all excited because we lost last week, so we're ready to come back and win and do good.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to go 2-0 this weekend.
Yes.
IU East, as I mentioned before, our coach did tell us they're bringing in a freshman outside who I guess is their dominant player. We'll see. We've watched a little bit of film on them. They don't look like something that we can't manage and beat, so I'm excited to go in and hopefully, like I said, go 2-0 this weekend.
Yeah. And going into the future of the season, we were talking about the effects that the coronavirus has put on the season, but instead of playing like the 25 and maybe even 30 plus games that you guys are used to playing each season, you're only playing 16, and they're all conference matchups. So what are your thoughts on that, knowing that you're only playing conference teams and the season's pretty much cut in half?
Yeah. It kind of pushes us a little harder because we know that every game counts and we don't have extra like buffer room to help us boost our winning streak and stuff like that. So we really have to focus in on all of our games.
I agree. Yeah.
All right, well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us this weekend, and best of luck this weekend against IU East and Ohio Christian. And because of the coronavirus, fans are unfortunately not allowed to attend these games. But the good news is you can always catch the action on the Point Park Sports Network with yours truly calling the games this weekend. And if you would like to follow along with anything Point Park athletics related, log on to pointparksports.com or follow us on social media at Point Park Sports. Thanks for watching and hope to see you right back here next week.